All right, so I see you're one of the many people online buzzing about Nagano Lean Body Tonic, all those ads, right? Promising to like melt fat away and kickstart your metabolism. We've got a whole stack of info here, marketing stuff, the ingredients, even what people are saying about it. We're going to unpack it all, and by the end, you'll know if this tonic is the real deal or just, well, clever marketing. First up, let's look at some of their big claims. We've got things like melts away stubborn fat, turbocharges metabolism, makes you feel years younger. I mean, it does sound tempting, especially if you've been trying to lose weight or just feel more energized. But you know what they say, you got to have the evidence to back up those big promises. So let's dive into what's actually in this supposed miracle tonic. Right at the top of the list, Camu Camu. It's a superfood apparently loaded with vitamin C and antioxidants. They're saying it ignites your metabolism at a deeper level. What does science actually say about that?
Well, there is some early research suggesting Camu Camu could have an impact on gut bacteria. And we know that having a balanced gut microbiome is really important for a healthy metabolism. But the research specifically looking at Camu Camu and weight loss, well, there just isn't much of it yet.
Okay, so maybe some potential there, but nothing solid. What about EGCG? Nagano's marketing says it's been used in Asia for centuries to boost metabolism.
Right, so EGCG is that main active compound you find in green tea. And actually, there's been a good amount of research on its potential benefits. Some studies show that it can actually slightly increase your metabolism and fat oxidation.
Interesting. So there is some science behind that claim then.
To a certain degree, yeah. The thing is, the effects they've observed are usually pretty small. Definitely not as dramatic as the marketing makes it seem. Plus, a lot of those studies use way higher doses of EGCG than what you would actually get from a serving of this tonic.
Okay, so not a miracle cure, but maybe like a gentle nudge in the right direction. Let's move on to mangosteen, another fruit they're saying is key to this whole thing working. Fill us in on this one.
Mangosteen is a great source of antioxidants, and it's full of fiber, which is always good for you. But the research connecting it directly to weight loss is pretty limited. Some studies suggest it might help regulate blood sugar levels, which could then have an indirect effect on weight, but we need more solid research to really say for sure.
Okay, so we're seeing a pattern here. These ingredients seem healthy overall, but maybe not the weight loss miracle they're advertising. Next up on the list, Panax ginseng. They're playing up the whole use for millennia angle in traditional medicine. Does this ancient ingredient actually hold the key to modern weight loss?
Panax ginseng is really interesting. It's considered an adaptogen, meaning it helps your body handle stress better. And we know that chronic stress can lead to weight gain, so there is a link there. There's some research suggesting it might improve gut health, which, like we talked about earlier, is connected to metabolism. But again, the research on Panax ginseng and weight loss specifically is still super early, and we're far from having any definite answers.
So it could help you feel better overall, which could then help with weight management, but indirectly. All right, let's move on to the next ingredient, Momordica charantia. What in the world is that, and what's it supposed to do?
It's also known as bitter melon, and it's a fruit that's been used traditionally to help manage diabetes. There are some initial studies that suggest it might help with blood sugar control, which could be good for weight management. But, you guessed it, more research needed to say for sure.
It sounds like regulating blood sugar is becoming a bit of a theme here. Speaking of which, up next we have ashwagandha. Nagano says it can help with those cravings you get when you're stressed. What can you tell us about this one?
Ashwagandha is another one of those trendy adaptogens. There's some evidence it can lower cortisol levels, which is your stress hormone. And we know cortisol can make you feel hungrier and store more fat.
So, in theory, it could help with weight loss by helping us manage stress and those cravings that come with it.
Yeah, exactly. But once again, more research is needed to be sure about these findings and what the long-term effects are.
It seems like a lot of these ingredients are going after that mind-body connection, which is pretty interesting. Next up, we've got acerola, another fruit high in vitamin C and antioxidants, just like that Camu Camu we talked about before.
You got it. Acerola's nutritional profile is actually really similar to Camu Camu. And while vitamin C is definitely important for overall health, it doesn't directly burn fat. The antioxidants in acerola could be good for you in general, but there's no strong evidence that it'll help you lose weight.
Okay, so another ingredient that's good for you, but not a weight loss game changer. What about eleuthero root? They say it boosts endurance and metabolism. Is there any truth to that?
It's also called Siberian ginseng, and it's another adaptogen. People often use it to feel more energized and improve stamina. There is some early research that suggests it could have a small effect on metabolism, but we need more research to really understand if it plays a role in weight loss.
So it might give you a bit more pep in your step, but don't expect it to magically melt those pounds away. Now we've got alfalfa leaf. What's this one all about?
Alfalfa leaf is a good source of a bunch of nutrients, vitamins, minerals, fiber. It's often used to support digestive health, but no strong evidence it directly impacts weight loss.
So another healthy ingredient, but not necessarily a weight loss powerhouse. Next is cinnamon cassia. They're saying it supports blood sugar levels and helps boost metabolism.
Yeah, cinnamon's actually been shown to have some good effects on regulating blood sugar, and that could indirectly help with managing weight. But the effects are usually pretty mild, and it's not a substitute for a healthy diet and exercise.
Okay, so that blood sugar regulation theme is popping up again. What about ginger? They say it boosts metabolism by enhancing thermogenesis. What does that even mean, and is it something we should get excited about?
Ginger is a popular spice that people often use to help with digestion and nausea. There is some limited evidence that it might have a slight thermogenic effect, meaning it could possibly increase calorie expenditure a little bit, but those effects are probably minimal, and more research is needed to confirm those findings.
So maybe a tiny, tiny boost to your metabolism, but probably not enough to make a big difference on its own. Next up on the list is inulin. It's a type of fiber that's gotten pretty popular recently. What can you tell us about this one?
Inulin is a prebiotic fiber, so it feeds the good bacteria in your gut. And having a healthy gut microbiome is really important for overall health. It can also indirectly affect weight management, but inulin itself, it's not going to magically make you lose weight.
So, good for your gut, which is always a good thing, but not a direct fat burner. And last but not least, they list a proprietary blend of 8 super antioxidants. Barley grass, spinach, blueberry, asparagus, cranberry, pomegranate, broccoli, and spirulina. Sounds like a green smoothie in a bottle. What can you tell us about this blend and what it's supposed to do?
It definitely sounds healthy, packing in a lot of nutrient-rich ingredients. And antioxidants are important for overall health, protecting your cells from damage. But there's no evidence this specific blend will lead to significant weight loss.
Okay, so we've been through all the ingredients and haven't really found that magic bullet for weight loss. But I got to admit, those before and after pictures on their website in that real user section, they're pretty convincing.
Yeah, testimonials are powerful because they tap into that hope for a quick solution. It's easy to look at those success stories and think, hey, maybe this could work for me too.
For sure. And they feel relatable, especially when you've been struggling with traditional weight loss methods.
Right. But the thing is, those testimonials are just one person's experience, you know? They might not reflect what most people experience. There could be all sorts of reasons why someone might see success with a product like this. Everyone's metabolism is different. There might be lifestyle factors they don't mention. Even the placebo effect could play a role.
That's a really good point. Just because it worked for one person doesn't guarantee it'll work for everyone. And it's easy to forget. We're only seeing the success stories. What about the people who didn't see results?
Exactly. There's always a bias in these types of testimonials. People are way more likely to share their story if they're super happy with the results. So you're probably not getting the whole picture.
So basically, got to take those testimonials with a grain of salt. They're not really scientific evidence. Now, let's talk money. They have these different packages. And the best value they push is the 6-bottle package. That's quite an investment. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it is interesting that they push that 6-bottle package so hard, that kind of long-term commitment. It could feel like they're pressuring people, and it makes you wonder, are they actually trying to promote healthy habits that you can stick with? Or do they just want people locked into a subscription?
It does make you think. It's a lot of money to spend, especially when the science behind the product is still up in the air. It's important to weigh the potential benefits against the cost. And consider if there are other, maybe less expensive ways to reach your health goals.
Absolutely. And while we're talking about costs and benefits, let's look at the fine print. They do offer a money-back guarantee, but they also have that disclaimer saying the product isn't meant to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Right. That disclaimer is really important. It sets realistic expectations. This tonic isn't some magic cure-all. It's a dietary supplement that might help with overall health and well-being. But it's not a replacement for medical advice or treatment.
And it's always crucial to talk to your doctor before starting any new supplements, especially if you have any health conditions or are taking medications.
Okay, so we've broken down the marketing, looked at the ingredients, considered the testimonials. What really stands out to you from all of this? What's the most important thing for our listeners to take away?
I think the biggest takeaway is, while this tonic has some ingredients that could be beneficial, the marketing is definitely exaggerating things. There just isn't a quick fix for weight loss. True health and well-being, it takes a more holistic approach. That means a balanced diet, regular exercise, managing stress, and getting enough sleep.
Couldn't agree more. Those fad diets and promises of quick results, they're tempting, but they rarely work long-term.
Exactly. It's about creating healthy habits that you can stick with. And being a smart consumer. Don't just fall for the hype and promises of overnight results. Do your research, talk to your doctor, and make informed decisions that work for you.
Great points. And this leads us to a thought-provoking question for our listeners. We focused a lot on the specific ingredients in this tonic. But thinking beyond supplements, what other lifestyle changes could you make to support your overall health and well-being?
That's a fantastic question, and I wish more people would ask themselves that. It really highlights how important a holistic approach to health is. For example, things like mindfulness practices to reduce stress, or making sure you're eating lots of whole, unprocessed foods. Those could be really beneficial things to consider adding to your routine.
Absolutely. It's about finding what works best for you and creating healthy habits that you can keep up. Remember, knowledge is power. Keep learning, keep questioning, and keep making informed choices. And on that note, so that wraps up our deep dive into Nagano Lean Body Tonic. Hopefully you're walking away with a better understanding of what's really in this stuff and whether it lives up to all those flashy claims. Like we always say, no magic bullets. Just got to keep learning and make those healthy choices that work for you.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And hey, if you found this deep dive interesting, we've got tons of other episodes exploring all sorts of health and wellness topics.
Yeah, we're always diving into something new.
So hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more. Until next time, stay curious and keep asking those questions.